But yeah, the SEC, interesting. Georgia right now, the Brock Bowers, it appears Brock Bowers is going to miss some extended time. Hopefully that is it's not a long time because they really need Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers a really good football player, and I think that was that him being out the rest of the season, it sounds like it's an extended period of time is the case for why Georgia probably or why Georgia might not do something special once again this year, just because you had some of the issues in the off season. You had I guess if you look at like Georgia, I know they lost. I think losing Stetson Bennett hurt Georgia more than people think because I think once Stetson Bennett, the way he was playing, especially in the second half of last year, I think he stopped. I think the talk of Stetson Bennett, I think it became more so this guy's not a great story anymore. This guy is let's just say he is a really good college quarterback now. Is he going to have a tremendous NFL career? I mean, obviously he's only a rookie, but he may not get that opportunity necessarily. But I guess the main point I'm trying to make is, Stetson Bennett, I think, whatever you want to say about him, I think he really boosted this Georgia offense, and I think he was the perfect piece to plug in to really get the most out of this offense and score at a high level consistently, distribute the football, even though he was not slinging the ball necessarily a lot of games for a complete big, utterly, dominant big plays down the field and throwing like absolute bullets. But yeah, Stetson Bennett, a guy that was key to this offense. And you look this year with, some of the guys they lose to the NFL offensively and defensively. I think you look at Brock Bowers was really the guy who were like, because, Brock Bowers is a freshman. When Georgia wins it all, they're like, Brock Bowers is a really good player, but super young, and then he can be dominant. Now he is that dominant guy, and we have to have this guy if we want to do something special. Now, could Georgia win the national title this year without Brock Bowers? Maybe, but also, you feel like without Brock Bowers, that is just that really affects this team. Like last year, I guess Bowers was one of their best players last year, but I don't think he was one of the, it was not necessarily, it wasn't just him that was, that was really putting pressure. It was Bennett, A.D. Mitchell. It was, the offensive line was just so dominant, especially in the run game. Not that it's not really good this year, but I think last year Georgia was just so superior on the offensive line and the defensive line and the defense in a whole that it did not necessarily matter if Brock Bowers was performing. I think, Bowers was making, like if you watch, some games Bowers was making was making big plays, but were not really critical big plays, if that makes sense. So I think this year he is the guy that they really need to make the critical big play. And without him, I think that's what's could potentially cost them a win in a big game. But yeah, Brock Bowers, the injury is tough, and yeah, Carson Beck, it just doesn't. Beck is a talented player. I think he's got size. I think he, the short to intermediate range is pretty accurate. But I think that Beck holds them back in the sense that he doesn't. I don't think he's a guy that opposing defenses fear to just drop back and pick you apart and make some off-platform throws and really roll out of the pocket and throw on the run at a high level consistency. I don't think he really puts the pressure on defenses in that way. So I think that's what is giving defenses a little bit more confidence in their ability to defend Georgia this year, even though the running game's still strong and Brock Bowers' talent is dominant at times and the receiving core is really good. I think that's why opposing teams just are not fearing the Georgia offense as compared to the last couple seasons. But yeah, Georgia, a really strong team offensively and defensively.